Hello, everyone. I'm Yolanda with Harper Therapy, and Alina is with us today. Whoop, whoop.
Hey.
So we are continuing our conversation today. We've been talking a lot about anxiety and what anxiety, how to know if you are experiencing anxiety, what anxiety looks like, the way that anxiety kind of shows up for us in our brain. I wanted to share with you today some hacks about how to use breathing to help when you're experiencing anxiety. So I know that we all breathe. Right?
I hope so.
Otherwise,
we breathe.
We breathe. So, but what happens when we're feeling anxious or when we have intense emotional experiences is that we don't take good full breaths. We tend to breathe like more into our chest. Very shallow breathing, which kind of leads to hyperventilating. And that engages, remember that sympathetic, parasympathetic nervous system? So remember, the sympathetic isn't so sympathetic. It increases our feeling of anxiety. So taking those shallower breaths in our chest and that hyperventilation actually engages the sympathetic nervous system and makes us feel more anxious. Right. So what we want to do is start kind of paying attention to our breath and start practicing breathing in a different way that's going to serve us better, especially when we're experiencing anxiety, because we can't be anxious and calm at the same time.
Right, and just being more conscious of it. I think a lot of the time when we're in that kind of aroused state and we're breathing shallow, we don't even know we're doing it. So it's like kind of making that concentrated effort to practice this on a regular basis so that when we are breathing differently, we can really...
Yeah. And practicing it when we're not in that heightened state. So that's the invitation today. So we're gonna toss out some different ways of breathing. And the first is a diaphragmatic breathing. So again, when we're feeling anxious, we tend to breathe more in our chest. Diaphragmatic breathing is breathing more into the diaphragm, so the belly, their belly breaths. If you have ever sung in a choir or played a woodwind instrument, a trumpet, a clarinet, then you know diaphragmatic breathing. It is that full breath so that you can create a nice full tone, either with a song, with your voice, or with a musical instrument. So that's breathing in. Imagine that you have a balloon that's right here in your belly. And imagine that air coming in and filling up the balloon. And you can even put your hand here, so here on your belly, and practice breathing in to that space. And you can even put a hand on the chest and a hand on the belly and recognize when you breathe shallowly, that chest is moving, and when you breathe more fully, it's the breath into the belly. So breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, but really it's playing around with it to figure out what feels right for you. We want to breathe in and then allow the exhale to be just a little bit longer than the inhale. So if you're breathing in for 3, 1, 2, 3. Try exhaling for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 2, 3. Out, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3. And out, 2, 3, 4. And just check in and see how that feels for you. Toby's playing with his ball. So that's the noise that you hear in the background. So what are some other breathing styles or some breathing tips that we can share that will help decrease anxiety?
Something I like to do, just meditation practice in general. I think a lot of people get really freaked out about it and they're like, I can't sit still, I can't do this. And really, it's just breathing. Really, that's what it is. Just noticing your breath in and out, noticing where it's going. So that diaphragmatic breathing is part of that. It's just kind of just being aware of your breath. The other thing that you can do is a technique called box breath. And this is something that, our social work guru, Brene Brown, uses as well. And she
And Navy SEALs.
And Navy SEALs. That's where she originally got it from. So, you know,
they call it tactical breathing.
Tactical breathing. So we're gonna just call it box breathing. And so basically, this is a breath where you just kind of breathe in sequence. So you let go of all the breath in your body, just breathe out, and then you start by, and then we start by breathing in for a count of 4. So we breathe in 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're gonna hold it for 4, 3, 2, 1, and then we're gonna breathe out for 1, 2, 3, 4. And we hold it again for 1, 2, 3, 4. And we just repeat that sequence over and over. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Hold it, 2, 3, 4. And breathe out, 2, 3, 4. And at the bottom, 2, 3, 4. So you just
box.
Yeah, you just do that in sequence. Where's my finger?
It's backwards.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay.
Yeah.
So personally, when I do this, I really love this, and I do it in my own meditation practice when I do that box breathing. But personally, it's hard for me to leave it at the bottom for 4 breaths, for 4 counts. So I do more of like it's backwards, triangle breath. So I breathe in for 4. I hold it for 4. And then I breathe out for 4. Pause just for a minute, or a second, and then I go back into the 4, 4, and 4. Because for me, holding it at the bottom for some reason gives me anxiety, so I'm not going to do something that gives me more anxiety.
So you want to tweak things so that it fits you, right? If the box breathing, I'm not a big fan of the box breathing. It feels uncomfortable for me. So Alina adjusted it to fit better for her. I prefer the diaphragmatic breathing. So it's taking some of these tips and tweaking it. Wanted to give you a couple of other breathing techniques. Now, these are ones that I would use more when I was working with kids. These are super fun. So one of them is STAR. And STAR is an acronym that stands for stop or smile. So stop, take a deep breath, and relax. So with the kids, I would have them like stop and tense up your muscles, because progressive muscle relaxation is another way of calming the body. So like stop, take a deep breath, and relax. That feels good, right?
That's good, yeah.
And it's fun and playful and something that we can kind of bring to mind when we're in that heightened anxious state. It kind of shakes loose that anxiety a little bit. So stop, take a deep breath, and relax. And another fun one was a balloon. And I would actually give the kids balloons so that you can use these tips with your kids. So take a balloon, or imagine that you are a balloon, right? And you blow air into the balloon. So put your hands here on the top of your head, and you breathe in. Blowing out that balloon, and then when you blow up a balloon and you let it go, it goes. So again, a little something cute. Silly, right? Breathe in. And so one of the reasons that this is helpful is because when we're in that anxious state, everything weighs so heavy and everything is so serious. Right. So when we bring a little playfulness, a little lightheartedness to that, just kind of shakes things loose a little bit. Yeah. So 4 different ways of breathing to help with your anxiety. 4. So diaphragmatic breathing, box breathing, or shifted to triangle breathing. STAR, stop, smile, take a deep breath, and relax. And then the balloon, breathing in and out. So again, we want to practice these when we're in a calm, relaxed state, so that we can build the skill set from when we're feeling anxious. So we bought a house recently, and part of buying the house is that they have all of the hurricane shutters and stuff. And so what they told us to do is, before a hurricane comes, pull out the shutters and make sure they fit correctly on the windows, right? So the invitation is, before your panic attack comes, or before you're feeling anxious and over the top, because we don't have as much access to these tools when we're in a heightened state, practice them.
Yeah. And you'll be more present in life in general, and that feels good.
Yeah. So comment after you practice and tell us which one you like the most. We'll take a poll. All right. You guys have a great day. Talk to you soon.